Hello and welcome to the Zoom room. We're coming towards the end of the York Festival. What a festival it's been. And this is Jonny Ward standing in for Luke Tarr on Star Sports TV with Bill Esdaile and our special guest, as ever, our Star Sports ambassador, Silvestre de Sousa. How are you getting on, guys?
I'm good, yeah, I'm good, and just on the motorway now, head to York
Yeah,
for the
as you
second
can
day.
as you can see, he's not driving the car. He is actually a passenger in the car. So no rules broken whatsoever. But hopefully some winners for Sil over the course of what should be an epic Friday at York. And just to mention, if you're beaten by a neck or less, pipped at the post, the Star Sports offer up to a pony. You'll get back if you're beaten by a neck or less. Bill Esdaile, how are you getting on?
Yeah, all good. All good. It's a long week, York week, but I do enjoy it. It's a good week.
It is a good week. Let's get straight into the action with Sil, starting with the Nunthorpe. Now, this is going to be an absolute cracker of a race, a cracker of a ride for you to have in the race, Sil. In terms of not only the fact that you have a progressive 3-year-old in Winter Power, but also the way that she races. And this is going to be over in a flash.
We hope so. And
With you in front.
yes, stay all the way. And,
How a 3-year-old filly in a race like this, how difficult is that?
well, it's not easy to take that way. You know, she's taken on the old boys, and they just jump and run. But she's a filly. She got tons of a class, and and she's a nice feeling going forward. And she done nothing wrong. She won loads of races and good races for us, but she threw one or two runners a bit disappointing. But she's good. And when she's good, she's very good.
She obviously loves York, but was there anything in the King Stand? Some punters will look at the King Stand and say she's not going to be able to dictate in a race of this nature. She's not good enough. What do you say to that?
Well, obviously when she get her whole way in front, she's a better filly, but she's not necessarily have to make all the way. I just she's better when she's away from the speedy horses, and we got a good drawn 6. I think that could be my favorite.
So you kind of have a plan in your head.
Yes.
What do you make of it, Bill?
Yeah, it's a good race. I mean, it's very unlike any Nunthorpe we've seen in recent years because you've got the top 4 in the betting are all 3-year-olds. So it's a race of young, fast improving horses from all over the world. You've got Golden Pal coming from America. You've got Sousa, another 3-year-old filly who was brilliant at Goodwood, and you've obviously got Silvestre filly who's very, very quick, as you would expect in a 5-furlong race. But they are 3 speedballs are at the top of the market. Tactically, it'll be interesting. Golden Pal drawn in 1 will probably head a bit towards the far side, and that's where Sil will go. Tracking whether he tracks or leads will be up to him. But cracking looking race. I'm really looking forward to it. I'm going to go a bit left field though. I fancy the 2-year-old Chipotle, number 15, 40-1 shot right the way down the
Here
bottom.
we go. So, a race dominated by 3-year-olds, and you're going for a 2-year-old.
I'm going to go for the youngster in amongst them. These old 3-year-olds are too old. You've got to go for a really young one. But no, Chipotle is interesting for me because he sneaks into the bottom off just 8 stone 1.
It's a staggering weight for age. It is staggering.
Yeah, I mean, it's £24 and it's just worth a chance. He was really good at Royal Ascot, and when he got beaten in the super sprint at Newbury, the door just slammed on him, so you can forgive him that. And then the ground went against him at Goodwood. So he's back, if the rain stays away, he's back in his ideal conditions with heaps of weight. And look, he's probably not up to the class of Golden Pal, Sousa and Winter Power, but the weight brings him right into it. And I just think 40-1 is a huge price. Plenty of firms offering 4 places. I just think he'll run really, really well.
It's an amazing renewal of the Nunthorpe when you consider no Irish runner is one thing, but the international element of the race, the fact that it's dominated by 3-year-olds, and if you're listening to Bill, a 2-year-old is going to win the race. Still, a 2-year-old clearly won't win the race. Are you going to win the race?
Well, I hope I can win the race, but I cannot see the 2-year-old win. I think the combination of a jockey and is very important, and unfortunately the jockey rolled all his winners. He's not on board, and but it's tough for a 2-year-old.
Holly Doyle's not a bad replacement though, Sil. She's not.
No, she's not. But I like to see when you look at the way Charlie rides him, it's different than the way the other jockeys ride him.
Yeah.
It's not impossible. She's a very good jockey. Nobody can take her, and say she's not a good jockey. And she got a lot of talent. But it's hard for a 2-year-old come against the old sprint at the same time and go there and do the job. But only time will tell.
Yeah, and it could actually break new ground where the 2-year-old to win a race like that. Maybe plans would change for 2-year-olds a bit in the future because it's so rare you see this. Let's start off now chronologically with your other mounts on the day. Johnny Drama, Sil, Jonny Ward talking to you here. And Johnny Drama, obviously a horse who likes York. Was he slightly bogged down the ground the last day?
Yes, it was, yeah. And he likes the place, and on a galloping track like York is suitable for him. And I don't think the draw we have is the idea, but we need to work from that draw. And but he's there with a chance. I think he got each way chance.
Is there any sense for you that he's better on the all-weather than turf?
I wouldn't think so. I wouldn't think so. I think he can go in the both surfs, and it just depends of the class of the race.
And is he in good nick at home?
He's in good form, and they're happy with him at home. And obviously, he comes to this race with a top weight, but it's hard to do with a top weight. But he carries the top weight for some reason. So let's work from there.
You can certainly make a case from Bill with 4 each way places as well.
Yeah, he's got a big task at the weights, but he's still behind his all-weather mark, so there might still a bit in the tank, and the ground will be right for him. The two to concentrate on away from him, Wink of an Eye, still remarkably well handicapped, even though he's 1-4 on the trot, because he just does enough. He just literally gets nudged up a tiny bit, but he seemed to just get there in time over 1 mile 3. So the step up to 1 mile 4 will suit him. He's fun enough. The State of Bliss who he beat last time, he meets on better terms because State of Bliss has gone out and won well since. So Wink of an Eye is still probably one to keep on side. And then at a much bigger price, look out for Dark Jedi, second in the race last year. Easterby's have their horses in really good nick this week, and I think Dark Jedi won well. So Wink of an Eye and Dark Jedi would be my two.
Yeah, let's get on to the Stradivarius race, obviously, which is going to be fascinating. It's a small field, still does not have a ride in this, but interesting that Willie Mullinson's over Stratham here in the Lonsdale Cup. He was second in the race last year and has been in great nick on the flat this year. I'm not sure about Stradivarius at this stage, Bill, to be honest. Obviously, he's been well backed, I think, anti-post or whatever, but he did blot his copybook rather at Ascot. I wouldn't be entirely opposed to taking him on, I think. What do you make of it?
Yeah, I mean, it's a good race. Whether Trushan takes his chance or not, I doubt. If the rain doesn't come and it just gets quicker and quicker, I'd be surprised if Trushan runs. But it looks a straight matchup between Stradivarius and Spanish Mission, and I thought Spanish Mission ran really well when he was third in the Gold Cup at Ascot, and I'd be with him. He's around 3-1. I'd rather be with him at 3s than Stradivarius at 6-5. It's purely a price thing. Stradivarius is only 7, but he feels like he's 10 because he's been around so long. But there's a lot of miles under the clock. Whether the fire burns as strong as it used to, I don't know. And for that reason, I'd side with Spanish Mission, who's won at York and is in good nick.
Yeah, and so you look at Stradivarius, he's won one of his last 5 races, which for me would be a bit of a red flag.
Yes, and Stradivarius, I'm a massive fan of the horse, and I think this race is made up for him.
There we go. That's a nice quick summation from the boy Silvestre de Sousa. We're going to knock down now to your next ride on the day, Sil, which in chronological order is obviously Winter Power. And this is a race in which Ryan Moore rides for the owner as well. And your other ride on the day, Sil, is Il Bandito. Now, Cheapy's on for the first time in this acclamation gelding. I would get the feeling that he's not necessarily ungenuine. It's just the case that he is maybe, just bumping into one, I suppose, in the finale. And you're a big price.
Yes, I'm quite surprised and requesting him to do 8 stone 2. And I'll have no breakfast that morning for sure.
8 stone 1, just to make you feel even worse.
we're going for a pound over.
Okay.
Maybe 2. And and my bottom weight is 8-2. So, but I think he had a chance when I took the ride, and obviously you got a wide draw, but with a low weight in the back, and I think he got every chance.
Is he a horse that it's just interesting looking at his profile? He's been running in small fields. Could this potentially help him?
And well, I think so. And when I was talking to Shelley, my agent, and she went through, and she said she thought it would be a good ride, and I wouldn't be doing the weight if you don't think we have a chance.
Fascinating runner here, Bill, in the shape of the hooded Royal Fleet, who's obviously 3 from 3 horse by Dubai. He goes from strength to strength.
Yeah, I mean he won. He was a bit workmanlike last time, and he's gone up a fair bit in the weights, but he's got all those ones next to his name, and he's a well-bred Godolphin runner who's going to be at the head of the market and will take some beating. But I'd be prepared to take him on. I think Silv's got a squeak, actually. I think right the way down the bottom, Charlie Hill's horses are in much better form, and the fact this horse Il Bandito keeps coming second means that he hasn't really gone up in the weight, so he's still off the same mark. So, like you said, the key might be a big field, bit of cover. He might just play into it. He seems a big price. I thought this was really hard. If I was to go for one, I'd probably side with Wishaw. Owen Burrows' horse won well last time. And I think it's probably still ahead of his mark. Wishaw would be the one, but it wouldn't be a confident selection.
What's your nap of the day, Bill?
Nap of the day is Chipotle each way at 40-1 in the Nunthorpe, just because Silv says it can't win, so I've got to go with that.
which essentially means that your best ride of the day, Sil, and the nap of the day from Bill are probably going to be in the same race, I imagine.
I think so, yeah. I think Winter Power is my best ride of the day, and I just hope for the very best for me.
What can possibly go wrong? Best of luck, Sil.
Thank you.
Thank you, Bill.
Yes, thank you. Cheers, Sonny.
Yeah, and don't forget, pipped at the post, if you are beaten by a neck or less, you will get your stake back to a pony on Star Sports. Hope you enjoyed the Friday at York, and check in as well later on. We'll be recording for the Saturday at York.